Good morning. My name is Rod Sanders, and I'm with Cygnus Instruments. And Cygnus is the manufacturer of ultrasonic equipment, ultrasonic thickness gauges, ultrasonic leak detectors. On the syllabus, we're going to talk today about leak detectors. How many people in here actually do hatch cover inspection? I changed the subject from hatch cover inspection to thickness gauges. You probably all get involved in thickness gauges, or it has to get involved in thickness gauges at one point in time or another. A little background about who we are. The founder of our company was a marine surveyor who specialized in large wool carriers, tankers. Back in the mid-70s, when digital gauges first came on the scene, he was carrying around a Crop Kramer USK5 FLAW detector, which was the 26-pound box. At 60, 70 feet of cable. You got two guys doing it. You got one guy looking at a little screen with lots of wiggly lines in it all day long. We board the ships and sailed with them, so we would do these inspections that take 10, 12 hours a day working at it. So when the handheld gauge came out, this made a hell of a lot of sense. Small, light, portable. But the problem with them is that they were single echo gauges. Now I'm going to explain what the difference is between the types of gauges. Basically, one of the problems with single echo, it has a lot of inherent problems with it. Primarily, one of them is you have to remove coatings in order to measure the steel. So George said, great, why don't you use the multiple echo technique? Now, this is a technique that's used on the oscilloscope, or on the FLAW detectors, nothing that we invented. Okay? And he said, why don't you make gauges out of them? And they said, no, these will work. He said, oh, they won't work for us, we'll never use them. We're not about to start taking good coatings off Chevron's tankers to get down to bare steel, not when there's a way to measure the steel without removing the coating. Of course, you put coatings on things to protect them from corrosion. You don't put coatings on it to make it look pretty. So the last thing you want to do is start grinding the coating for it. So he tried several other companies. Nobody else would make the things, so he said, "How would I do it myself?" And in 1983, we came out with the first digital multiple echo gauges. It's all part of non-destructive testing. And non-destructive testing is defined as testing the integrity of a pipe, a tank, a vessel, a ship's hull, whatever it is, without destroying its useful life. In other words, you can have a pipe, okay, and you need to know the thickness of the pipe. You could drill a hole in it. So now you have a hole in the pipe. Okay, so that's destructive testing. The different types of methods in the MD field is radiography, particle ultrasonics, so you can read them yourself and see all the different ones. Ultrasound is probably the cleanest and one of the most popular ones. X-ray is dealing with radioactive stuff, and like the Navy used to be huge in X-ray, that back quite a bit. And there's just different modes of it. We're strictly ultrasound. What is ultrasonics? A transmission of high frequency sound waves into materials to detect imperfections and measure thicknesses. Okay, there's two functions of using ultrasound. The most commonly used is pulse echo, which means you put the sound in and it comes back to you. Okay, and what you're looking for, again, you're looking for just simple: how thick is the steel? How much of the steel is left? The rule of thumb in engineering is 20% wastage. So when 20% of the steel is thrown away, you can lose the design integrity of whatever it is, if it's a bridge or a storage tank or a ship's hull or whatever. So that's why periodically you need to check to see how much of the steel is still left. Once it gets below the 20% range, it's time to do something. If you were doing a piping system, trivia for you, there's more miles of pipe in the United States than there are paper. We have no idea how much pipeline is in the United States. Gasoline that we get up here in Baltimore came from Beaumont, Texas, via pipeline. Okay, so it's all running up pipelines, it's all pressurized. So as they're inspecting these pipes, they lose 20% of it. They're going to do something because they're all pressurized, and if you have it boom, if you lose too much of the steel, and this is why it's important. ABS, Lloyd's, they all require that the ship has to be inspected every 5 years, a full Class A hull survey every 5 years. These big tankers had a life at sea of about 7 years before they were in the dry dock. and have the plate cut out and plate replaced. We worked for the shipping companies, not for the classification society, because Chevron or Exxon or BP or whoever were monitoring the amount of corrosion that they were having in the ships. If you're carrying something like Mideastern crude oil, very high in sulfur water mixed sulfuric acid, so you got that inside the tanks, sitting in salt water on the outside of the tanks, so it's getting double whammy from both sides. So periodically they would go and check to see how much of the steel is left. Things like ballast tanks lose a lot of steel fairly quick because they're pumping seawater in and out of them. Coatings are gone. I mean, they can be pretty ugly, heavily corroded, heavily pitted, nasty. The history of ultrasound goes back to the 1800s. There's some argument as to who invented it, if the Brits did it or the French did it or whatever. It doesn't matter. In 1912, the first application was proposed after the Titanic sunk, okay, where they wanted to use sonar to look for things, but it's the same principle where you put sound out, it bounces off something, and it comes back to you. During World War I, sonar was used to try to detect submarines. In 1929, ultrasound was used to start testing castings, and they started looking at all kinds of other materials. World War II came along, and everybody did their own thing, and nobody talked to each other. The Germans were doing their work in NDT, the Americans we were doing our work, the French, the British, the whoever, but nobody communicated with each other. After the Second World War, everybody kind of came to the surface, and we began to talk about it worldwide. Digital gauges were introduced in the mid-70s. Prior to that, it was all done with, this is the early equipment. I can always tell when somebody calls me from the marine industry because they say, can you give me some information or I need to get an audio gauge? Well, the marine industry is the only industry that uses that term anymore. Okay, everybody else calls them thickness gauges. But the marine industry is still, and I was just trying to learn a little bit about subchapter M from the Coast Guard. And they, of course, talk about audio gauge, as opposed to thickness testing. But these were the earlier gauges. But what an audio gauge was, I've never seen one, I've just heard about it, where you actually, the operator had a headphone and it had a squelch button on it of some sort, the way it's been explained to me. And I don't know if it made a lot of noise or it didn't make a lot of noise when it got in. It was an analog thing and it had a needle, and that's how they told how thick the metal was. The marine industry has been huge in the NDT world since the beginning. It has a lot to do with oil. As the oil was being transported around the world, so the marine industry was getting involved in that. And then the oil would make it to the plants, and then the piping systems, and the processing systems, and the storage systems were all subject to a lot of corrosion. So a lot of NDT work is done, still today is done as well into refineries and chemical plants. That was one of the first FLAW detectors. Again, you're looking at lots of wiggly lines, but there's a lot of things you can do with a FLAW detector that you can't do with a digital gauge. Okay, again, they're two totally different things. They get two different purposes. These are just some pictures of some current ones are Olympus, and the other is GE or Kraut-Kramer. Okay, Olympus used to be panometric. But again, by looking at the waveforms, you can look at discontinuities in the metals. You can use shear waves, a different type of wave. We use compression waves, and you can look at cracks and welds and do weld inspection. There's lots of things you can do with it. The new thing today is phased array. Okay, that's the latest thing in ultrasound. And what phased array is, and that was taken from medical ultrasound people. When your wife or girlfriend or whoever goes and has the sonogram done, where they use a probe and they can look and they can actually see the baby moved around. Well, they have the same thing now with an array of probes. And you look over an area and you can get three-dimensional pictures of the defects that are in the metal itself. Okay? The equipment is really cool. It's really neat to see. It's very expensive at this stage. Gauges they're getting better. They're down to about $30,000 a gauge, down from 50. But in another 5 to 10 years, they'll be down, handheld size, and price will come down. But it's really kind of neat stuff. But it takes a lot of training and able to use a flaw detector and to understand what it is when you're looking at all these little wiggly lines, how they meet, and how you can detect hits, or how you can detect anomalies in the metal itself, hydrogen or cracks, or inclusions, or whatever. Okay. The training through ASNT, the American Society of Non-Destructive Testing, there's 3 levels of certification. There's level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 certification is 40 hours of classroom training with 200 hours of supervised OJT. Level 2, same thing, 40 hours of classroom training, 200 hours of supervised NDT. Level 3 is, if you're level 3, you know more about ultrasound than God. And these are the guys that set up all the big programs, do all the testing, do all, a lot of it. They move up more into management, as opposed to field inspection work, which causes a problem for marine surveyors. How the hell are you going to get to be a level 2 certified person when you have to have 40 hours of training, 200 hours of OJT, supervised by somebody? I'm sure every one of you guys work for yourself. You don't work for big companies. And this has always been a problem. There have been people, there was a guy down in Florida who was a level 3, and he put on a training course, and he called his program level 2 thickness testing. Okay. Well, ASNT got a hold of it and heard about it and went to him and said, what are you doing? There is no level 2 training program, ASNT. And if you continue to do it, we're going to yank your level 3 certification. So that came to a halt. Which is, I'm going to a thing next week to find out about what Subchapter M has to say to Coast Guard, because the Coast Guard is saying that you have to be certified now, some sort of certification in order to do thickness testing. Okay? Who's doing the certification? Who's doing the testing? Somebody told me it was ASNT had some. I talked to them yesterday, and they said absolutely not. We have level 1, level 2, level 3. So I don't know where this is coming from. They have a section in there where a company can train their own people as long as they follow the guidelines of ASNT, which is kind of, they've had that for a long time. And if you go and get these certifications and work for Shell Oil Company, you can be a level 2 Shell Oil Company NDT technician, but don't leave Shell. Because if you leave Shell, your certification stays with Shell, because that's a company-wide thing. So if you had Shell or Exxon or whoever or whatever, and I always kind of thought of it, this is like, the Fox watching the hen house, setting up your own programs within your own organization, within your own company, where ASNT is supposed to be, one for everybody to abide by, but apparently you can do. But I'm going to find out. I'll know more next week, hopefully. The first gauges that came out, and these are some of the old ones, okay, were called single echo gauges, and how they work. First off, they used a probe which was called a twin probe. And you can see that, and you may have these types of gauges or have used these types of gauges. And this is a probe. I mean, not that you'll be able to see it, but it has a line down the center of it, okay? One side of the transducer sends a signal, the other side of the transducer receives the signal back after it bounces off the backball. Thus, the gauges were called pitch catch. That's how they got the name from pitch catch. The signal goes out in the shape of a V. Okay, so it's not linear to the material you're going through, because the kind of probes that we use are called single probes, and I'll show you that, and they're different from these types of probes. But what happens is, as soon as the signal leaves the transducer, it turns clockwise, because these are nothing more than timing devices. It's given in physics that sound passes through certain materials at certain speeds. You calibrate the instrument to the velocity of sound of the material that you're testing. Carbon steel's got one number, stainless steel's got another number, brass has got its own number, aluminum's got its own number. So each time you do a different material, you have to recalibrate the instrument to the velocity of sound of that material that you're testing. Okay? So as the sound goes through the steel, when it gets to the other side of the steel, where the molecules of steel are different from the molecules of whatever on the other side, in physics, the sound will reflect back to you. Okay? Probably 95% of the energy comes back, some of it goes straight on through. So you don't care, we don't care what's on the other side. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's a pipe that has sludge in it, or if it's a pipe that has rock in it, or if you're doing the inspection below the sea line, if the boat's in the water and you're inside and you're below the water line. Okay? Doesn't matter, we don't care about what's on the other side. The sound bounces off the back wall, it comes back up. Okay, you take that time, you divide it by 2 because you only need it one way. You calculate it to, mathematically, you calculate it to a thickness. You know, so it's not black magic. There's nothing magical about it. The problem, the inherent problem, 2 inherent problems with using this technique is that if you have any kind of coatings or paint or epoxies or whatever on the steel itself, the velocity of sound in that paint is probably 2 to 3 times slower than that is of the steel. We've calibrated the instrument for the velocity of sound of steel if you're doing the steel wall, right? And you can only calibrate these instruments to one velocity of sound. So as it's passing through the paint, it's being delayed. It's the steel, speeds up, bounces off the back wall, comes back, it's got to go through the paint a second time. Okay. So, but the clock's running. Okay. So as it's being delayed going through the paint, and that's how steel grows. Okay, and that's how you can get measurements that are thicker than the original thicknesses, depending on the thickness of the paint. Because the thicker the paint, the worse the number is that you actually get. So the only thing that's accepted by ASNT, by the Navy, by the Coast Guard, by the nuclear people, by anybody and everybody worldwide, running coatings off. Okay. And again, you put coatings on things to protect them from corrosion. The last thing you want to do is to run coatings away. Okay. Another problem with single echo, since you're only looking at a single echo, where there's a piece of crack in the steel, right there, an occlusion or something. Sound comes down, gets a partial reflection, goes back up, turns clock off. Okay, tells you the steel is this thick. No, it isn't, it's this thick. So there's no verification of where the sound came from or what it's doing. Is it really from the real back wall? Is it the real steel? Or just what is it? So this is where George said, great idea, small, handheld, light, portable, bigger than carrying around a big box. You know, but there's no verification here. We have to take coatings off. We're not about to use the multiple echo technique. Then again, I was saying he couldn't get anybody to make one, so he made it himself. Okay. Now, as I was saying, we use what's called a single probe. So it's got a straight up and down sound beam. So we're linear to the material. So you can put the probe and turn it 360 degrees. It doesn't matter. When you turn it, especially if you're on a rougher piece of steel, if you're using the twin probe, when you turn it, and that V is changing, the geometry of the V is changing, okay, as you would turn it around, right? And as that's changing, so the numbers on the gauge. So the question always was, and I would go to shows and go to my competitors and say, because they always had nice shiny steel out on their tables, where we always bring the crap, okay? Because that's the world we live in, is crappy, shitty, corroded steel, not nice shiny test blocks. Okay, but if you put it on there and you get a number, you turn it and it changes the number, and it's turning it again. Which number do you pick? You pick the high one, you pick the low one, you pick the one in the middle, you pick the one that's the average. You're getting 3 numbers from the same spot. That's going to tell you something's not right. So what we do now, we spread this out for time. We're not V-beams, okay? We're straight up and down sound beam. The sound goes into the steel and reverberates within the steel until it loses energy and goes away. Okay? So we put the sound into the metal, and we wait for the first echo to come back, and that's the one that turns our clock on. Right? What happens is, and people ask us all the time, is how is it can you read and ignore the coding? Well, we put the sound in the middle, and what happens is remember we're saying when you go down here where the molecules of steel are different from the molecules of whatever's on the other side, well, the same thing happens when you go back up. The molecules of the paint are different from the molecules of the steel. So the sound goes back down. So the sound gets caught in between the two walls and just reverberates again until it loses energy. As it passes through the paint, eventually it gets through it, going through it slower, but then it trips the clock. So now we start timing it. But at the same time, the sound's going back down in the steel. Okay? So waiting for this to get through to trip the clock, but the sound's moving down. So when the time that the clock turns on, it's actually here. So we go through the same cycle a second time. Okay? Same thing. And as you can see, what we end up measuring is just one cycle of steel, or of sound that's trapped between the two walls of the steel. We then look at the second echo, we look at the third echo, we match the timings between the second and third echoes. When they match, and they must match exactly, then the instrument will display a measurement. And what it's doing at that stage of the game is that it's verifying that the sound came from the same backwall reflector. And the measurement you get is an honest to God, accurate, verified, true. Take it to the bank. Thickness measurement. Okay. The most obvious advantage of this technique is you do not have to take the coatings off. As long as they're bonded, they're not flaking or peeling. So peel them off. They have to be bonded to the surface. That's the most obvious advantage, but it's about accuracy. You get a true, accurate, verified thickness measurement. Now, when you can't match the timings between the second and third echoes for whatever reason, and there could be a whole bunch of reasons, then the gauge says, well, wait a minute, the timings didn't match. Let's say you had severe pitting or something on the other side. Okay? And it's the sound is going down, it's ricocheting and bouncing around. What happens with our gauge when we can't match the timings between the second and third echoes is it goes blank. We'd rather piss you off and give you no information than to lie to you and give you false information. So the good news with our gauges are they always give you a measurement when they should, and won't give you one when they should. Okay? That can cause, it has its own set of headaches that can cause as well. Because nothing is 100%. But to do this, obviously, you got to put the sound in the middle. It's got to bounce off the back wall and come back to you. It's like standing in front of a mirror with a flashlight. You held the light straight at you, it would come right back to you. If you put the light out there on a 45-degree angle, where's it go? 45 out in your direction. So the issue always when doing thickness testing is what is the shape or the angle of the two walls that you're trying to put sound into, and what happens to the sound when it strikes the other wall? Well, if it's being deflected away from the transducer, where's it going? The sound never came back to you. If, like you say, if you had pitting on the other side, and it goes and ricochets and bounces around before it makes its way back to the transducer, what's the chance of getting 3 echoes to follow that same path? Slim to none. Okay. So, and I have a great demonstration at break. I'll come up and I'll show it to you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's a piece of pipe, and you can see that it's heavily fitted on that side, but we're going to measure it from this side. Okay. And you're going to see that you can get measurements, and then you're going to have a difficult time finding measurements in that because you don't have relatively parallel walls. So, well, I still need a measurement. You know, so what are you doing there? But I'll show that to you. Then came, so single echoes were the first gauges made. 1983, we came out with multiple echoes. The first gauge that we made, probably some of you have seen it, looked like a flashlight. Okay, it was a flashlight type of configuration, and people said, "What the hell did you make a gauge that looked like a flashlight?" And so we didn't. We made a gauge that fits in your hand. Because the early gauges were bigger, and they didn't really quite fit in your hand, and this thing fit in your hand. Plus, our guys wore the overalls that had the pockets inside, and they're climbing through the webbing and framing, and they could take the gauge and stick it in their pocket and climb up the board out and do what they had to do. But the first gauge that we made was an intrinsically safe gauge. We're on tankers, since safety is an issue. We're the first ones, and even today, we're still the only ones that manufacture a gauge that can be used in potentially hazardous atmospheres without fear of causing explosions. Okay. Sometimes you get it aboard ships. Some companies require that you have to have I mean, to go down in a tank today, okay, you have to have somebody up top watching you, you have to have all kinds of gas sniffers and, you know, to make it safe for a human being to go in, but intrinsic safety is another issue. More so in refineries or chemical plants or offshore platforms, you know, that have places that are actually letting gas escape, that you use those types of gauges. But then came along the oops, back up there. Waveform gauges, okay? Now, these are our versions. The first waveform gauges came out in like 1992, the early ones in the mid-90s. Okay, we got into it 5 or 6 years ago. The founder of our company, George, he's rolling over in his grave to realize that we put single echo in, which is multiple echo. This was religion to him almost. So now you've got a gauge, we have it in the 4 plus and the 6 plus, that can do multiple echo, can do echo to echo, and can do single echo. The Cygnus 4 gauge also has a scan, which is now you can see what the sound is doing in the metal. Okay, we simplified it. I'm not saying you have to be a level 2 in order to interpret it, and I can show you that as well. Or you can go and change it and use it more like a flaw detector, but it's not a flaw detector. Thickness gauges were only ever designed to support the use of a flaw detector. They were never ever designed to replace it. Okay, number one. So this echo to echo mode, because the guys that were making single echo gauges were getting beat up all the time. You know, one about how reliable was the information. 2, I don't want to be taking coatings off. People were doing so, I'm not taking this guy's coating off his hull. You know, then just take the measurement. But then all the numbers were wrong. You know, so it's important accuracy so they came out with what was called echo to echo. Okay, now using that with a twin probe. Okay, so we're using twin probe. Put the sound in the metal, wait for the first echo to come back. That's one that turns clock 1, very similar to what you do in multiple echo. You then wait for the second echo to come back, and you turn the clock off. Okay. You can ignore coatings with that, but you can only ignore coatings in the range of 40 mils, 50 mils. And I can show you that our gauges ignore coatings. They're 20 mils thick. 20 mils, 20 millimeters. Okay, no mils. Okay. So it's only for really thin coatings, and they can paint more than once. Echo to echo won't work on them. The other thing with echo to echo is that since you're still only looking from when the clock turns on and it's timing, you're still only looking at a single echo. So if you have crap in the steel, I'll help you. You can get false readings on these, on the echo to echo gauges as well. But we put them in our gauges. Why? Why do we do it? Because in that scenario where you can't get a measurement, okay? Give you an example, divers. Okay? We have underwater equipment for divers. We have equipment for ROVs. Right? But if the diver's doing a piling, and the piling is all heavily corroded, and he's using multiple epic, when he gets into that heavy corroding, we never said no surface preparation. Our guys, the most important tool they ever carried with them was a chipping hammer. Okay? And if the steel is real rough and nasty, you take a hammer out and whale away at it. You got to smooth it up. Okay? Smooth it up for 2 purposes. One, the rougher the surface, the more sound you got to put in it. Okay? Penetrate through the rough surface. This is, again, we're back to physics. The surface is so rough, you never get enough power out of transducers to do that. So you got to knock the surface down. The other reason why you wanted to knock the surface down, and then you could do multiple echo, because our guys used multiple echo from 83 on. We sold the company about 5 years ago. But for all that time, 30 years of using multiple echo in nasty ballast tanks and all that, we were able to get. Those guys were just unbelievable. Those surveys. they would go into. I was down in Houston in the yard one time, and I was up on a ladder trying to guide from the steel, and I was playing to help get the measurement, and another guy went up there and he played. One of our surveyors happened to be in Houston at the time, and he was just coming along for the ride. And he said, "I'll show you." And he got up on the ladder, measuring here and that. He just had that feel, that touch, that rock it, that tweak it, that move it, that sort of thing. And that's what when you use an art gauge, there's a bar system. When you turn the gauge on, there's a flashing bar to the left part of the screen, which means that the gauge is on and it's cooking. Okay? To the right of the decimal point is a 2-bar system. You can see the first bar light up, means you got the sound in the middle. You see the second bar light up, and you've got the second echo. And when you see the third bar start flashing at you real fast, it means you get close to getting the measurement. Just rock it, tweak it, move it, romance it. Ah, there it is, there it is. You're looking for those relatively parallel. Okay. The repeatability on this is incredible from multiple echoes. You can take it, you know you got a good measurement when you can hold it there. You hold the measurement for 5 to 10 seconds or however long. Take it off, put it back on, you get the same measurement, same spot. Doesn't make any difference if you turn the probe this way because you're using a single probe. Yeah, it's kind of neat to see that. But you got the bar system to tell the operator, don't quit. In the early days, we didn't have bars, and guys would quit. They'd say, oh, I can't get a measurement, and Cygnus sucks. You know, because I can't measure here on this sort of stuff. So we would say, no, don't quit on it, watch the bars. And when you see the bars, you'll be able to identify. Hit gauges. This is, we were talking earlier. This is the year 2017, and when it comes to pits, the only thing that works in measuring pits is a good old dum-dum pit gauge. Where you just lay it across the steel, put the pointer down inside the pit. And then it tells you how much is gone. You take measurements around the area, subtract it out, that's as good as it seems. People for years have been saying, oh, we have pit gauges and we have pencil pit probes and all this stuff. Problem is, they only worked in single echo. Okay, and one of the other inherent problems with single echo on rough steel is that if the steel looks like this, okay, and you're over it, what's in this valley? Okay, couplet. The velocity of sound in couplet is 4 times slower than steel. Got past through the couplet, okay. So again, you get the delays, you get the false readings, you get the, and that's the problem. So the same thing with all these pencil probes and stuff in pits, because what's the probability of having parallel walls in a pit? 0. Okay. So the only thing you're going to do is to use let's say, a good old dum-dum pit gauge. What you need to know.
You have to use the couplet with your gauges.
You have to use the couplet with all ultrasounds. Ultrasound doesn't pass through the air. As soon as it hits air, it stops. Okay? Our guys would get in a ballast tank and it would be all nasty, and they would whack away with it, with their chipping hammer. And they get shiny steel, and they, a chunk of scale would come off. Okay? And they get shiny steel, and they still can't get a measurement. They back up and whack it again. Another layer of scale comes off. Well, if you have the scale, what's between the scale and the steel? Air. Okay? The millionth of an inch doesn't make any difference. It's air. There's enough air to stop. Coatings, when you say the coatings have to be bonded. I sold gauges to people who do coating inspection, like in storage tanks, refinery in New Jersey that they bought it for this. And what they were looking for was disbonded coatings. So they're going around and doing the tank and trying to find some, because when you can't get a measurement, what happens to our gauge? It goes blank. Measurement, no measurement. Wait a minute, measures here, but why the hell won't it measure here? And they would take a hammer and hit it, and the paint would come over. They found a disbonded page. Again, air is behind the paint. So you have to use a coupling. Do you have to use a commercial coupling? Biodegradable, doesn't cause pollution, water soluble, doesn't cause corrosion. You can use water, you can spit on it, you can use oil, grease, KY jelly, whatever you want to use, doesn't make any difference. You have to have a medium for the sound to get out of the transducer to get into the steel. It's got to pass through something. Now, if you're doing some guy's boat, you want to do this because it's nice and clean. Our guys would go down to the engine room and just get a bottle of lube oil, you know, because they didn't care a ballast tank. They don't care about the mess they're making or the smell of it or anything filthy dirty in there anyway, so who cares about that? But the guy's got a nice white hull paint job on it, you know, there's oil and crap running down the side of his boat, so I'm not going to be happy with that. So you might want to use a commercial couple in that particular case. I was tells the guys earlier, we had I sold a gauge to a guy up in upper Michigan, bridge inspection. Okay, and he sent a Cygnus 2 up to him, and he sent it back to us. What the hell? We got a note in there, the gauge doesn't work. Brand new gauge, it doesn't work. Works fine for us, we got it to work great. We sent it back up, and said nothing wrong with this gauge, checked it all out. Because when we check out our gauges, we put them on calibration box to check and set the calibrations. You get a certificate, you know, that these are all traced at us, NIST and all that sort of stuff. Then we have a whole bunch of nasty, ugly steel. And they have to pass our test to read on this nasty, ugly steel and to know if it's got a good probe on or whatever it is. So anyway, this guy sends it back, and we send it back up to him again. And he sends it back a second time. You know, we go, whoa, problem here. So we had a rep in Detroit at the time, and the guy in Detroit went up to see him to see what the problem was. And he was using Vaseline as a couplet in the wintertime. You know, winter wonderland in upper Michigan. It's pretty cold. And apparently, because when the guy went up there with the couplet, things worked fine. And then he said, what do you know, he put his Vaseline on it, and couldn't get measurements. So apparently, the Vaseline, when it gets cold, it traps air. You know, so whatever you use, it doesn't matter what you use. Our underwater gauges use the water. You know, that is the couplet. This is the water that they're actually diving in, which makes it 100% covered because the transducer is totally surrounded by coupling. There's no chance of air to get in it other than the membrane that's on it. Just to let you know, we rent gauges. And for a lot of marine surveyors, we're at Minneapolis, and a lot of the local guys or whatever, you know, they'll get a steel hull every once in a while. The basic gauge, the basic Cygnus 4 gauge, sells for $24.95. I said that to the Coast Guard in Baltimore, and they said, wow, $24.95? We have that in petty cash. I said, you got $2,500 in petty cash? He said, no, you said $24.95. I said, oh, $2,495. Go Coast Guard. So you can rent. You know, they'll just go call us and say, of course, when one guy calls, half hour later, we're getting a call from somebody else. You know, it's Murphy's Law always at the same time. But until you get to the point that you're doing enough steel hulls to justify it. The guys are talking about that you bought gauge collectively. You know, where a couple guys get together and buy a gauge and just share it. You know, but anyway, we have it available for rent if you need one. We obviously prefer to sell you one. That's it. It's ultrasound in a nutshell. Okay. Again, it gives you this. The whole idea of this was just to give you the difference in the types of gauges that are out there. We're not the only ones that make thickness gauges. We're the only ones that make multiple echo thickness gauges. Nobody else makes a multiple echo gauge but us. Everybody else is either single echo or single echo and echo to echo. And again, we now have that multiple echo, single echo, and echo. Yeah.
Just doing day-to-day low bottoms and top sides with some paint, unpainted surfaces. What would you use? What setting would you set?
Just basic work.
Basic work. Nothing special. Might have some corrosion. I need some insulation, but just a straight, get it done, get a number, put it on a piece of paper for you.
Basic gauge.
What probe are you using?
2¼ megahertz half-inch. This is a 4 plus because this one has all the giddy up in it, but it's the same gauge. Comes with a strap in the back of the hand so you can hold the wire. Comes with a strap, hooks in there. You can wear it around your neck. You can get it to where you can put it on your belt. We made another gauge. This is one of our earlier gauges. It's called a Cygnus 2. And what it has is a display is on the top of the gauge, as opposed to being on the face of the gauge. Why do we do that? Our guys climbing through the webbing and the framing and holding on with one hand, gauging with the other hand, and they could wear it on the belt, so they could wear it around their neck. What I have to do is look down to see the measurement. That's the whole concept of doing that. Then we have a gauge, the Cygnus 6, that has everything but the kitchen sink. It's got the display on the front and the display on the top. Okay, so it depends on what you're doing. It's the scope of the inspection work. Why would somebody buy a Cygnus 4 over a Cygnus 4 Plus? The 4 Plus has A scan. It has single echo and echo to echo. If you get on that nasty steel, okay, and you're not going to get 3 echoes off it, you get, even if sometimes with a chipping hammer. If you go to single echo, the good news is it always gives you a reading. The bad news is that reading isn't always a measurement when you're in the business of measurement, okay, or accurate information, the report that you're giving to your customers. You know, supposedly you're giving them accurate, so they make decisions. When it's a multiple echo, it's doing it for you. So it's matching the timings, and if it can't give you a true accurate measurement, it goes blind. Okay, that's the beauty of it. Okay? But if you're on nasty stuff and you got to give measurements on it, then you might want to go where you switch probes and place them. Also has simple data logging in it. Okay, it's 4 plus. The 6 plus has a more sophisticated data logging. You want to go there. So it depends on the scope and the level of the inspection work that you want to do. And my experience has been with marine surveyors, most of them are just basic physics. But if you do get heavy corrosion, just remember, take a chipping hammer. I was in England actually. I was in a guy's yard, and he had a tugboat, and he had nasty corrosion from the side of his boat, where water was running off the deck and coming down on the shelf pipe and corroding it out. And we were trying to get measurements, and I said, you know, it was rough, and I said, can I hit it with a hammer? And he said, sure. So I gave me a chipping hammer, and I hit it, and I put the hammer right through the damn thing. And he said, you put a hole in my boat. I said, you don't need a thing. Because it's that thin that, you know, you put a hole right through it. Question?
Are these intrinsically safe, or which ones are?
No, that's a different one. That's still the flashlight type. It's the sort of thing that once you get the certification for the intrinsic safety, cannot touch it. The CIFA, ATEX. We use CSE here, Canadian. You can't touch it. You cannot make one. You make one change to it, you lost your certification. So we're in the process of this year. We're coming out with a new one that will have A scan and B scan. B scan is that you measure something. I'll be off here in just a second. Am I over my time?
No.
Okay.
Another 10 minutes if you want.
No, I can just keep going right on now. Not that you can really see this, but this would be a defect of a slurp, right? And you're measuring it from this side. And you're going along and you say, well, now I found something. Well, you can take B scan and scan over, and it'll give you a topographical picture of that flaw. Just had it with Southwest Gas out in Nevada. They were putting pipeline together, and they're using a forklift truck. Forklift truck picking up the pipe, putting it in line, and they're setting up the pipe. Did this years ago. Now they're using things called pigs. Okay, and what these pigs were originally, they would run them down pipelines. They had big cups on them. And what they're doing is they're cleaning out the pipeline, cleaning out all the crap and sand and sludge and whatever gets collected in the pipeline. They shut down the line, put this pig in it, open the line up, say like in New Orleans, okay, where oil is coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, going to Shell, going to Wood River, Illinois, that pipeline from New Orleans to Wood River, Illinois, right? So they shut down the line in New Orleans, they put a pig in it, turn the flow back on, and it pushes it up to Wood River. So they're following it, GPS, they're following it as it gets up close. You know, they shut down the line again and then push it, and they push all the muck out into where I don't know, they could dispose of it somehow. Now they're going to the tank. So nowadays they're starting to put electronics, a lot of electronics, now they're called smart pigs. Okay? And these smart pigs have ultrasound and they have other NDT things on them, and as the pig is going through the pipeline, okay, and if it finds an anomaly of some sort, it gives an alarm, gives you a GPS reading, and it keeps on going. So this is how Southwest Gas found what had happened is this forklift truck put a gouge in the side of the pipe as it was laying the pipe. Okay? So they went and had the pipes buried, so they have the GPS reading, and they have between welds is about 8 or 10 feet pieces of pipe, you know, and where the welds are. So that's the best the GPS can give you, can't give you the exact spot. So they dig up the pipe and they go in and start inspecting the whole pipe to look for that anomaly that was found in the pig. And that's when you get that B scan. So they did it, and you can now see what it is that caused the problem. Not only did you identify the problem, you can actually see the problem. And then with phase array, I mean, it's even going to get more intense. But the 6 Plus has B scan in it too. And so the gauges has everything. So the whole idea is that we got gauges from simple thickness testing to, depends on the level of specification or the depth of the inspection program. Do you want just a basic gauge, or do you want to have that in case you get corrosion, if you want to try to measure around the corrosion? You can take a thick gauge, I mean, you can work your way around it, you can knock it down with a hammer, watch the bars, because you will surely find some parallel walls in there. You can surely get some real thickness measurement. Is that enough information? If it's not enough information, put the thickness gauge away. Instead of pipelines, you know, if this isn't enough, mark the pipe and go get a flaw detector. Go get a radiographer. Go get somebody to take a picture of it. Do something else. Thickness gauges are only thickness gauges. They're not designed to look at discontinuities and cracks and all that sort of stuff. They give you an indication. Like I say, ours, the indication is they won't get you in there. And that's the one of the findings laid in front of your face. Measures here, 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 but won't measure here. Well, why won't it measure here? Problem with digital gauges is that information gives you is digits. Doesn't tell you if it's inclusions, laminations, hydrogen, glycerin, crack, pitting. In many cases it is pitting, but it doesn't tell you that. So,
what would you use around the wells? For instance, if you want to do a field inspection, well, that you inspect.
you want to inspect the weld?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you do. The problem with a weld is most of the time the weld is like this, right? I mean, where they're laying the weld bead. Okay. Parallel walls. They're not. That's why they use it. It's called shear wave. You do it with a flaw detector. And you bring the sound in from the side. So that way, as opposed to doing it this way. So shear wave. That's big. The American Welding Association, I mean, NDT has really been there, but it's all flaw detector stuff. You know, and again, unless you have the training to do the flaw detection, it's a pretty sophisticated piece of equipment. It takes a lot to learn how to do it. Like, it just takes a lot. And then in a lot of cases, people will then just, if they get that, they'll just go out and get it. Construction company does it, come in and do that portion for them, or that section for report.
Can you calibrate this so that it could read density of materials that are not metallic?
The range on it is from like 1,000 meters to 7,000 meters. So it's a range. Plastics, as an example.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Could you use
multiple echo?
You know, could you do carbon fiber? Could you do plastic? Could you do fiberglass?
I have a few pieces here that somebody brought me to talk about. Single echo, yeah. With the right type of probes. Plastics are a little bit different because the velocity of sound in them is usually a lot slower than it is in metals. Okay? Obviously, the sound passes through stainless steel faster than it passes through aluminum. If you can hit stainless steel and you don't discard it, you hit aluminum, you can jump it out. So it's not as plastics are worse. So that's a whole world in itself. So, and it's hard to get any kind of numbers as to, because there's so many different types of plastics. We sell gauges and rotomolders, for quality control. That kind of you can do. A homogeneous type of fiberglass you can do. All right, Xerxes, which is a company in the United States that makes tanks, gasoline tanks, gasoline station tanks, fiberglass tanks, and that's very good. Depends on what state, what you have to do. You can either go inside the tank, federal law. You can either go inside the tank and inspect them, and most tanks don't have a manway in it. Okay, so there are lots of problems. Okay, you can put a cathodic protection system on it that reverses the electric flow in it, and as a sacrificial, they use them on ships too. A sacrificial anode that the version uses. Or you can take them out of the ground and replace them with plastic, with fiberglass. But then you got to take the soil out to get the hydrocarbons out of the soil. But we can measure that because it's a homogeneous fiberglass. Okay. Mat and roving on a sailboat or a powerboat, forget it. With all the different layers and all of that, I mean, it's just you'll never get the sound through it, you'll never get the sound back. And it doesn't corrode anyway. What about corrosion? Corrosion is our friend. Rust we trust. What do you say? But people want to do it now. If people say, "Well, I want to find a void," okay. How many guys have gone, with a ball-peen hammer, ding, 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 pong, ding, pong. You can use a leak detector the same way. Modern way of doing it. We have a headphone and you have a stethoscope type of probe on it, and you just put it on and you tap along. You can point in your hand. Tap, 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 tone, tap, tone, tap, tone. Bayliner, we did Bayliner up in Seattle before they shut down the plant. They had a 60-foot boat out there or something. We just got talking about it, and the general manager was walking around. We were doing the windows and that sort of stuff where you can put a tone generator on one side. That's kind of what this other equipment is, for hatch covers, same sort of thing. And you can go on the outside and listen for the sound that leaks through, see what windows or hatches or whatever are leaking. Okay. You can do that. And so then you can also find voids. And you say, why don't you find voids? Show me. Bayliner, ever find a void in Bayliner? So he calls a guy and he comes out of the shop. The guy comes back with a drill, and a half-inch drill. He's drilling holes inside and both of my holes. Where did we start here? The guys tap, 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 tone, drill a hole. He said, how much money you just saved us? Because the boat's sitting on the trailer getting ready to be shipped. Okay. And he said, we just got it down there, and some marine surveyor was going to inspect it. Next thing you know, we have to go down and do the repairs on it or bring it back up to the yard and yada yada. So that's better to find those voids before the boat gets as opposed to going at. But that's ultrasound, a different type of ultrasound, not thickness. So plastics are an issue, and normally when it comes to plastics, give me a piece. That's the test. We'll see if we can measure it. We can measure it first, then we'll see if we can calibrate it. Normally, what you could do is to take the micrometer or lights, light how thick it is, and then set the gauge on it to get a measurement, and then tweak the gauge until it reads that thickness. Now, once it reads that thickness, and that's how you calibrate it. Once it reads that thickness, now it's calibrated to the velocity of sound of that material. So, but the only way to do it is to try it. Any other questions? You're all experts now.
Good timing.
Thank you.
Thank you.